What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to be showing you guys how I made about 10K. Here's a proof that I made it on Webull Futures in one trade. And no, it was not on the trade you're about to see here. This is actually just another trade I called out in my stream. But yeah, so basically today, I was completely bearish going into today. It just did not make sense to be bullish because to me, we had an hourly gap right here. It's obvious. We had a 4 hour gap right here, and it's obvious. It's obvious on both time frames. And on every single time frame, we closed below the gap. Like you can see, we closed below here, right there, and then we closed below here, right? So we closed below both gaps. I'm very surprised we're actually pumping now, but it doesn't matter because I'm already done for the day. We closed below both gaps, so I was completely bearish. It did not make sense to be bullish whatsoever. There's no delivery off any gap down here. The fact we even bounced from here is kind of crazy. So I definitely had a bearish bias. All right, I took an initial short, okay, off of I think it was like 8 a.m. I took it. I took an initial short. I took a mini on it, and I got stopped out for about 5K. And because this wick I could not hold with the drawdown of this wick. It was just too high, but it never actually stopped out the actual model. So, it just kind of shows like the model is true and the model is, if you trust the model enough, like it will work. It's just sometimes we're going to have giant wicks like that and I'm going to get, stopped out because I'm not holding more than down 5K. That's like my max risk pretty much. So yeah, like I was bearish, right? I kind of watched it open. I had these three PD arrays marked open. I have this one marked, and then I had this order block mark. And if you guys know the famous ICT quote, if three PD arrays fail, your ass is next, then that, I kind of combine all these three. And I'm like, okay, if we break this, maybe I'll be willing to take a short or maybe I'll be willing to, look for bearish prices, but we never broke it open. So at that point, I'm like, okay, this is not bearish yet. These three PD arrays are holding. We're just going to chill, not do much, and then just watch. So we make this move up here, and there's a fair value out to the left, and there's this trend line liquidity here. And a lot of people are asking me, like, okay, why would you take the short even with the trend line liquidity here? And although this short wasn't light bulb because of the fact this was here and that we could have ran it, it was still a good subjective trade because it went along with my bias. And I tell people trading is a coin flip. Every single time you take a trade, it is a coin flip. I like this mechanically. I liked how we tapped into this. It could have failed. It didn't. It could have. I liked how we tapped into this. I like the V shape. I've seen this play out a million times before. It's not something I'm going to pass up, even if we don't run that final Asia high. It's just like we're still delivering from a very good spot, if that makes sense. And it was too V shaped for me not to take. So, the trade that I took that I made the 10K on was this one right here. Okay. It was, we got the close. It was V shape. It's kind of funny that like it's kind of crazy that I size for this. I risked like 5K in this trade, and I could have probably risked 5K, had my stop there, and I could have made like 20K. It's insane. But like theoretically with inversions, you never technically know if we're going to retrace or not. So it's like a what if kind of thing. But I kind of took this trade. I didn't take any partials, and I took about 2R in this trade. My fill wasn't the greatest, so I took about 2R, risked 5K to make about 10K. I covered down here. I did cover a tad bit early, just in case. But the reason I like this so much is because one, a V shape, two, we had a 930 wick, and some of you are like, oh, well, it's protected. But 930 wicks and data wicks, I don't really like using as protected highs and lows. I still feel like with this V shape, I've seen this play out a ton of times, or like I treat a data or a 930 wick like this, like a data wick. It's still very good draw on liquidity. So I at least thought we would hit there. That's where I went break even. Okay. In my stream, I felt bad. In my stream, I said I was going break even a little earlier. I said I was going to go break even at like, I think it was what? It was like some 3 minute that held. I don't even know what it was at this point. I don't even know. It was like here, and it's just I had so many people. I had 850 people watching this morning. I knew there were signal bots in there who have no idea what they're doing and who don't have their own conviction. So for just look out for them. I said I was going to break even, but I really didn't because I had the conviction. I would have accepted this loss, and I kind of waited for down here. Another thing I mentioned a lot of time was like I said if we hit this 930 wick, we'd flush down much farther because this yes, it's technically protected, but like hitting that protected low, right, where it's that low that takes out this other low inside the fair value gap is not a bullish line at all. And that was confirmation for me to tell me that we're going to go lower to this low here. So that could have been in that case actually like a break and retest entry. Like you could have probably entered that the second we broke it with a stop above this order block, and that would have been your re-entry. Now, a lot of people are asking me why I took this with a 5-minute open, and I'm like, it's a 930 wick. I've been trading for too long to know that, you know, 930 wicks are great draw on liquidities. Okay. Absolutely great draw on liquidities. So, like, you know, the second we have the 930 wick and I know it's there, I don't want to wait for the 5-minute. This is V-shape enough for me to take. It already went along my bias. You know, if it didn't go along my bias, then yeah, I would have waited for the 5-minute. But like it went along my bias. It went along with what I thought was going to happen for the day, and I had my own conviction in it. Okay. So that was a trade I took. And then after that, I was done. Now, there was a couple other trades that, you know, played out. There was this 1 minute, which was good. But again, against my bias, there was a 30-second short I called out, which was this one right here. This was okay. I like this play a lot. This ended up being a break-even trade, sadly. Stop was, you know, close above this fair value gap right here. This is kind of what I was going for. That was a break-even trade. And then I called out this, and this was my second live account play of the day. I'm like, someone said, if you got break-even on the first short, would you take this? And I'm like, 100% yes, this looks great. My indicator even alerted this one. It swept this high inside the fair value gap. We delivered from this fair value gap. I was still bearish at that point. We also, it was a failed 5-minute long. So you can see it was a 5-minute inverse alongside, but it was against my bias. So it was like a failed 5-minute long. Everything about this was absolutely great. So again, really good play there as well. It was a little more in discount, but I still went along with my draw on liquidity. And you can see that my, you know, my, whatchamacallit, my indicator alert as well. And then it hit the 1 hour target, which was super good. So that played out. And I said to leave a runner. The runner would have gotten stop break even, but it was still like a nice 1 hour play, probably, you know, if you let the runner. And then we got this long, not a long I'd ever take against that bias. It was tiny. It was not a light bulb. It played out, but whatever. My indicator alerted that one too, I think. But I don't know. Not something I would have taken. Not obvious, but I did kind of call out this. I said if we got a break of structure here and then the CSD, I said this would likely lead us to going up. A couple people in my stream asked, like, would this be a good play? I'm like, yeah, if you get in here, stop at the low of this candle body, and then just target this BPR. I thought this was a good scalp. I thought we were going to hard reject here, but I was just completely wrong. But still a good scalp there. I called out, but I didn't take this one. The only play I took was a short. So, yeah, based off of this and what I'm seeing, this looks pretty bullish. Do I care though? Not really. I'm going to come back tomorrow and kind of reassess and see what I see. I still think that the daily is bearish here to these lows. You know, maybe we come tap into this daily and then get another bigger short, but daily time frame is just not bullish yet. So unless we like really run through this. So that's kind of my bias, and that's all I got for today. Don't forget to use code Dodgy for Apex, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.